Mike Wish was a college professor at Columbia when a chance encounter with some AT&T scientists changed his life.
Well, I went to a party and they said, well, why don't you go down to Bell Labs and kind of, see what we have there. So I went there and I figured that was a nice way to kind of reduce my teaching load. And then right afterwards, I decided I liked Bell Labs better. You communicated and worked with everybody, with mathematicians, statisticians, economists, computer scientists, psychologists. There were just so many different fields at the time, and it was a real community. And so much of my work was collaborative with people across different fields.
His first big project was the ill-fated picture phone, think Skype, but in the late 1960s, an idea a bit ahead of its time.
What could we do to understand how you would actually build a communication network? Because picture phone was useless unless there was somebody else to talk to that had picture phone. In fact, what we saw at the very beginning is that what people were doing was looking at themselves. They were interested in how they were coming across. So that was kind of the beginning of selfies. Everything that I've ever done from the beginning, I'm doing now. Nothing fades away.
What do you get when you mix a family of mathematicians with a family of salesmen? Well, you get a rare breed. An analytical mind, but with one eye always on the business and the customer.
I have always looked at technology as a means to an end. I'm not kind of a technology as for its own sake, or whether it's big data, the same thing. What can it do for us? That's the way I look at it.
Mike Wish was data analytics before many people knew what to do with the data.
I do surveys of about 500,000 customers a year. And that originally it was just on wireless, now it's across all the services.
And when the smartphone arrived, it came with a whole new set of issues for the network. Lucky for AT&T, Mike Wish saw things in his own unique way. Originally,
they had different models of what they needed to do to improve the network. And because they didn't have the customer information, it's very common, you take the information which you know that affects the network. And I was able to show what was really important in terms of retainability of drop calls and coverage, much more so than what would be called accessibility. And so as a result of that, it had a real impact on how we built the models.
No one anticipated the magnitude and the impact of the smartphone. And one of the things that Mike Wish and his team do is that they collect a lot of data immediately and really predict the future. And that's really what we needed, and that he played an instrumental role in being able to anticipate where we're going to be 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. Things that we didn't anticipate because it's never been done before. He played a pivotal role in really helping us see the future and prepare for it, and really do the right thing for our customers.
And that's where Mike spends his time today, analyzing mountains of data with a focus on improving the customer experience.
Being able to understand what different customers need, what they will do, what is the value of a customer, which we certainly understand, and how much can we afford for that customer? How do you meet the needs of a network relative to our affordability? How do you meet the needs of customer care? That all of those are things that I work on. The number of hours I spend on looking at every conceivable aspect of the data, doing the modeling and analysis is really staggering because I thoroughly enjoy it. It's other people's crossword puzzles, but I want to make sure that it's done in conjunction with the real business problems.
He would have to enjoy it because in June, Mike Wish celebrated 50 years with AT&T. Mike has 2 children and 5 grandchildren. He's 77 years old, but keeps up with men and women half his age. And he says that energy comes from this place.
What keeps me going is a combination of the people and the work. The work itself has got to be challenging. The people are what makes it happen. There's so many people with so many different ideas, and we share and we learn from each other, and that's what it's about.
Mike Wish he's truly a legend. He's a role model for us. And a lot of us work for so many years and can't wait to retire. Mike doesn't think of retirement. Mike thinks of how is he going to change the world.
Mike's wife Naomi is a college professor herself who plans to work for another 4 years. So does that mean Mike's days at AT&T are numbered? Don't count on it.
In 4 years, I'll think about it again. I like the age that I am. I like having children and grandchildren. I like having the kind of experience. I'd like to have it for the next 50 years, and that's kind of a conflict in terms of that. I'll take it as it goes, and as long as there are wonderful people to work with and challenging work, and as we're growing as a company, what could I ask for?
And after half a century, AT&T feels exactly the same way about him.